Hi guys, how you doing? I'm Richard from Genki English, and today we're in beautiful Cyprus. We're just doing an amazing 2-day workshop here, which is fantastic. Thank you, everyone. And one of the biggest questions we've got asked is, what do we do after Genki English? So of course, if you're teaching Genki English, means you can get rid of your textbooks, get rid of all the grammar books. The kids are drilling all the grammar in the games and things, but in a natural, fun way. So they're speaking all the sentences, which means they're learning all the grammar naturally. And of course, with the songs in the software, you've got all the intonation, pronunciation, the fluency is really cool. So if you go through the Genki English curriculum, it's designed to, 3 main things I try to incorporate in there. Number one is all the most popular questions that kids ask, because kids are always asking questions. Second one is make sure we've covered all the sounds of English, so the kids have no problem with phonics or reading later because they've heard all the sounds many times when you've gone through the curriculum. And also we've covered all the most popular words in English, because I'm sure you've seen the top 100 words in English, the top most common 100 words actually cover 50% of all spoken English, or about that, which is pretty fantastic. So what it means is, if you decide to start with Genki English, and I'd recommend starting with Genki English as long as the kids are physically able to talk, start with Genki English, do the 100 lessons, work your way through it. And some teachers say, does the speed depend on the age? Do you have to have, say, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours per lesson for different age groups? And what I would say is not really no. Because, for example, younger kids tend to, they learn the pronunciation quicker, but it might take them a bit longer to understand the game. Older kids might get the game quicker, but it takes them a bit longer to get the pronunciation and intonation right. Remember, you want to be hitting the words on the software, at least 3 or 4 times, ideally, like 7 or 10 times per word, so the kids get all the different intonations and you really get them to mimic the intonations we've got on there and the different accents. So what happens is, it balances out, and it usually works out as roughly, about an hour per lesson. But of course, the biggest variable is you, the teacher, because the more experience you have at teaching Genki English, the faster you can go through it. So that's why you see some of the superstar Genki English teachers getting really amazing results really quickly. And that's why you see me, doing 6 or 7 lessons in an hour. You don't want to be doing that yet. When you get practicing, you'll be better. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. So you do Genki English, you do the 100 hours curriculum first. That means the kids will be speaking awesome English. They'll have half of all spoken English. Then you do Genki Phonics. If you want to introduce Genki Phonics while you're still finishing off Genki English, that's cool. Do the 5-minute phonics at the end of the lesson. Or ideally, do Genki Phonics once you've finished Genki English. So your first 100 lessons, which might be a year or 2 years, depending how many lessons per week you have, that's speaking, confidence building, pronunciation, intonation. Second year is Genki Phonics, reading, getting the reading really awesome. And then you graduate the kids. Now some teachers say, well, I get a lot of emails saying, how do I slow them down? They're learning too quickly. I want to keep them for 10 years. Let's take that thinking away. One of the, in the new Tim Ferriss book, there's one of the things that says, one of the successful guys said, he said, take your 10-year plan, whatever you think you can do in 10 years, and ask yourself, why can't I do this in 6 months? Yes, that's the sort of philosophy we have with Genki English, is how can we get the kids graduated as quickly as possible? So do the speaking, then the phonics, and then graduate them. Finish it. That's cool. It's the end of the course. They can speak, they can read. Cool. You've done your job. And then if you want to, then you start offering other courses. So offer a course in robotics, or computer skills, or creative writing, or in crafts and arts, or in communication skills. Whatever it is, offer another course after that. And that's why usually I don't let people do Genki English branded schools. I want your school to be branded under your name, and then you offer the Genki English course, and then afterwards maybe the National Geographic course, or a creative writing course, or different types of courses. And all these different types of courses get branded under your school name. So eventually, it's not just English, you're teaching all these other skills depending on your own personal passion. If you're into sewing, teach sewing or teach dressmaking. If you're into exercise and sports, do exercise and sports. Use Genki English as the beginning to get the kids super good at English, super confident learners, and to get, you know, all the income from the parents because they all want English. It's an easiest subject to sell. And then you can move on to whatever you want to do afterwards. Of course, if you've got baby classes before that, you know, say in the mornings, say, you know, for example, if your lessons are mainly in the afternoons and you want to fill up your schedule in the morning, before Genki English, for 0-year-old kids, you can do mama and child classes and do things like baby yoga or baby sign language or something like that. Then move into Genki English, graduate from there and move on to different subjects. So that's what I'd recommend. What to do after Genki English, do something else in English. Don't stretch the kids out, you know, don't just do grammar for the sake of it. Don't just do exams for the sake of it. You know, you can do intensive exam classes if you want afterwards, no problem. You could even do intensive grammar classes if you wanted, that's up to you. But graduate them from Genki English, Genki Phonics, and then do these all different subjects and other things actually using the English they know. Does that sort of make sense? I hope it does. So, as I say, you know, the teachers here in Cyprus were pretty fantastic. I've just got a week off now. I'm actually working on more advanced Genki English themes now for crazy advanced grammar and also a new business English course, which hopefully we'll be launching soon, as well as the iPad apps and iPhone apps and everything else. So there we go, it's quite a long video. I hope it helped you. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you. But for now, I'll see you later from Cyprus. Goodbye.